What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about New Mexico State University and their basketball team and just what happened in this past season. If you watch college basketball, then I'm sure you guys have heard about what happened in New Mexico State involving their basketball team, unless you're living under a rock or something. Obviously, there was the deadly shooting on the UNM campus, which is their rival, that involved Peake, and then you had the whole hazing incident. It's more of sexual assault than hazing, but and you know, the name got released and everything. I know I made a video on this back in February, but at this point, like, we still didn't know a whole bunch of things, and now we do. And not everything's been released, but there's a lot more information, and it's just sad and crazy to hear about. Especially me being a student, it definitely affected. It didn't affect me or affect other students, but you could definitely tell, it's like, dang, it just sucks that it had to happen, and it sucks that it had to happen to our sporting program, and to our basketball team, who's always been very successful and very good. So let's get in the video and talk about it. So the season started off normal. There wasn't anything going on with the team. There's nothing wrong. I mean, there was, but it was behind the scenes, not known to the public. They started off 1-1. They beat New Mexico Highlands by 49 points. It was 101-52. They're a Division II school, so I was expecting for them to pull them out. And then, they lost to UTEP. They won this game. They were playing against UTEP. This is at home. They won this game later on, but they lost to UTEP over there in El Paso. They lost 67-64. It was sad that they lost, but it was still a close game. At this point, they were 1-1, so things weren't going too bad yet until the week after. They were scheduled to play against the University of New Mexico on November 19th, but that morning at 3 a.m., a player on NMSU by the name of Peake shot and killed another student on UNM's campus. The guy who died was Brandon Travis. It was a self-defense killing because Travis and his friends, they were trying to hurt Peake, by hitting him with a bat in the leg and trying to shoot him and all that. So Peake had a gun on him and shot back and killed him. So it was self-defense, so he didn't get charged for it, but it was questioned, why did he even have a gun in the first place? It is Albuquerque. For those that don't know, Albuquerque is not the safest place in the world, but at the same time, he shouldn't have a gun with him, and he shouldn't have been able to bring that on the bus. What makes it worse, though, is that the head coach, Greg Heiar, and assistant coach, Dominique Taylor, hid the gun in a pillow or something like that, and they hid it from the police, which obviously is not a good look at all on NMSU, on the basketball team, or the coaches in general. Peake was suspended from the team, and this kind of started our downfall in a way because Peake was our best defender. He was a big-time starter for us. He had a lot of energy, and he was a great player for us. He had 16 points in the first game against New Mexico Highlands. He didn't play that good against UTEP, but it was just one bad game. We were hoping for him to do great things, and I think a lot of people loved his energy. That first game, he was playing really good, hitting a lot of threes, doing a lot of great things for us. So it just sucked to see that he wasn't able to play with us, but hopefully he can find another place to play soon. So there was obviously a whole investigation, involving this situation, and Greg Heiar's job was at risk. A lot of people thought he should have been fired right then and there. He's had a weird past too. Apparently when he was assistant coach, I can't remember at what school it was, but one of the players got punched by the head coach, and then he didn't do anything about it. So there's other things too that I'm not sure too about everything, and it's all allegedly, so I don't want to say anything that's not true, but a lot of people were upset that he wasn't fired right then and there. But they were trying to move past this, and they were playing pretty decently after this. Like I said, they got to 7-5 before conference, but when conference started, they started playing really, really bad. They were 0-9 to start conference. They finally won a game against SFA, and they beat Seattle U, then they lost to GCU, which leads us into our next story as to why the season got canceled. So it was on February 10th of this year. So my roommate Jacob and my friend Jose and I, we were all eating at Freddy's. The food is really, really good. Y'all should go there. It was awesome. Having some milkshakes. We're having a good old time. And then Jacob gets a call from his dad. He's like, yeah, the Aggies are done playing basketball this year. And I'm like, what do you mean? And we all thought it was bad because of the shooting. We found out a couple of days later that was not the case. It came out that it was due to hazing allegations. The victim came out and said that 3 players were hazing him multiple times, since July or August of 2022, and there was another player involved as well. For the longest times, we didn't know the names, and nobody had really talked about it, but now we do. Sadly, Deuce Benjamin, who is from Las Cruces, he's a Las Cruces native. Everybody loves him in Cruces. And when he played against WNMU in that exhibition game, everybody was going for him. He had 5 points. He didn't play that much, but when he did get in, the whole crowd was cheering for him. And it was exciting to see him play. And the whole town just loves him. Well, I wouldn't call it a town. Las Cruces is bigger than a town. But, everybody loves him for that. It's his hometown. And it just had to see that it was him. I'm going to call him Shaq because it's kind of hard to say his name, but Shakiru Odunewu, I can't say his name, but Shaq, that was one of our favorite players too. No, I can't say his name. Give me a break. His name's hard to pronounce, and I'm white, so give me a break, please. But, yeah, so, he was involved too, so that, that was sad. And the players that were hazing them or sexually assaulting them, whatever you want to call it, were Deshawndre Washington, Dr. Bradley, and Aiken Jr. this sucks that this had to happen, and obviously the players involved, it has to suck too. I was actually friends with Deshawndre. We weren't like, close like that, but whenever I saw him, he'd always say what's up. He was cool. Like I said, Deuce is obviously from Las Cruces, and then Shaq's a great guy, and a lot of people really like Doctor too. I have a bunch of friends that said he was pretty cool. I never really saw Aiken on campus or at all, really. He did play at Arizona prior, but the whole situation just, it just sucks that it had to happen, and there's a lot of detail about it, and I'll get into that. I'm not gonna mention every incident because this video would probably be like, I don't know how long it'd probably be like 10 to 20 minutes or something, because there's a lot that happened. But apparently on the bus ride to El Paso to play against UTEP, that game that they lost that I mentioned earlier, apparently Washington, Aiken, and Bradley all tackled Shaq to the floor and grabbed his scrotum and squeezed it, and did things that are just I don't like talking about. Obviously it's weird, and as a guy just imagining that, like, that would obviously really suck and really hurt, and it just makes no sense. Like, why would you do that? Like, there's no point to do that. It's fine if you mess around a little bit, but like that is like way worse. And then like the coaches heard about it and just told them to stop playing around. Like, what do you mean stop playing around, bro? This is literally serious, bro. They're not just like messing around. This is serious stuff. So that was pretty crazy. And another thing too is, I'm not sure when it was, but it was like in a hotel. Deshawndre pulled Deuce in front of other girls and pretty much told him to like pull down his shorts, underwear, all that, and then he started doing more things, and it just sucks. Obviously it sucks in general, but the fact that they did it in front of girls too made it even worse, which is what Deuce said. And then another thing too is whenever Shaq was trying to take a shower in the team locker room, those three same players, they went to go to rip the curtain off and made him do squats and started slapping his butt, and it's just a bunch of weird stuff, and it's honestly kind of gay. But I mean, it's just ridiculous that this had to happen. Again, I've seen some things I don't want to see in my lifetime, and I've seen some stuff happen, but it's never gotten into this bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, the stuff I've seen, it's not even like hazy, it's just messing around, but this stuff is way worse. Another thing that was alleged is that apparently there were multiple players involved in the hazing incident, more than just these 5. Like, there were other people being hazed, assaulted, all that type of stuff, and apparently the coaches had their pants pulled down too on the bus ride. So pretty much everything, the whole team was just involved, and that definitely explains again why they had such a bad season. I mean, they didn't even win 10 games. They were 9-15, 2-10 in conference. I mean, they were playing awful, dude. Like, it was bad, man. I mean, there was times too I was like, bro, just put me on the freaking team, bro. Like, I'm not Division I talent, but I know how to play basketball, bro. And sometimes it was like, these guys even playing basketball? I mean, they lost a game by 35 in the conference. Like, for a WAC team to score 111 points, that's crazy. I can't remember who it was exactly, but it was just bad. They lost many games in a blowout. And it was just horrible. I'm kind of glad they didn't play against UNM, because if they did, they'd probably get whooped, and then there'd be a bunch of trash talking about that. And the thing that sucks too is that they had a bunch of skill. They had some really, really good players. Like, Deshawndre was a really great player. He's actually trying to get to the NBA. Not sure how it's going to work out. I made some videos on him and all that. Yeah, I think he's a cool guy, but obviously with what he did wasn't right. And there's other things too. I know Xavier Pinson, he's also trying to go to the NBA. Like, just imagine if we had 2 guys make it to the NBA from this team. Like, that would be insane. From everything that happened, they make it, that'd be awesome, but it'd also be crazy too. Be like, dang, maybe this season wasn't a lost cause. But hopefully, the team can just rebuild and from this. It's crazy. Like I said, they had such good players too. That has to go with the coaching. I mean, Greg Heiar was just a horrible coach. And everybody knows that, so it's not just me saying it. Like, literally everybody who watches the Aggies knows that he was a bad coach. It's just crazy that he won a national championship in the junior college level. I don't know how the heck he did that, because he must have just had some really good players. Like, I know Deshawndre and Issa Muhammad, who were on the Aggies this past year, were on that team, but he must have just had good players. And I've heard other, like, Fred VanVleet played for him. He said Greg Heiar was a great coach. I'm not sure what Fred was on. I'm not sure if he was smoking or if he was high or drunk or what he was, because that is obviously not the case at all, because you're not going to let a shooting and this whole incident happen when you're literally told about it multiple times. Like, come on, man, that's crazy. Going into the season, I thought he was going to be a great coach. I think a lot of people thought he was going to be a great coach, and we were all very excited. If we saw oh my gosh, I can't talk. If we had Chris Jans still coaching this team would have been very successful. None of this stuff would have happened. It's just crazy. And that's something that Shaq said in a press conference. He was just saying that, the coaching was a big thing as to why this happened. And just watching that conference too, when Deuce and Shaq were coming out talking about what happened to them, and then obviously Deuce got very emotional, and it was just sad to watch. I literally started crying myself. I'm an emotional guy, so it's sad for me to see that. This whole situation is just messy, and it sucks. It sucks that it had to happen. It sucks that it happened at my school. Like, I was literally getting texts from my family and my friends, like, this is the school you go to? And I'm like, well, yeah, it is. Like New Mexico State, you know, it's a relatively well-known college, but not a whole bunch of people knew about it. Not now they do, and they know for the wrong reasons. Like, it was on ESPN, on everything, and everybody was talking about it. Like, it was all over the place. So, you know, it's crazy. You know, I feel like when I tell people later down the line, like, oh, what college you go to? Oh, I went to New Mexico State. I'm like, oh, what happened to your school? You know, it's just, you know, it's intense and it's insane. And our basketball team's always been good, and I just hope they can rebound from this. A lot of people don't think they will. A lot of people think it's going to take a couple years for them to get back to where they were good. One thing I would be upset is if I'm supposed to be graduating in 2026 with my bachelor's degree in journalism. So if they start getting good after I graduate, I'm going to be a little upset. Like, bro, so when I was here, y'all just sucked. But honestly, they're looking pretty solid so far. I think the new coach, Jason Hooten, he's signed some good guys like Jalen Jackson-Posey, which I made a video on him recently. They have a guy, Brandon Suggs. They have Clarence Jackson. They have a bunch of, you know, solid players. They have like 6 or 7 right now. Hopefully they can continue to sign more and just, you know, better themselves from where they were. I mean, it's going to be a whole new system, whole new team, which is just how it was this year too. But, you know, obviously with what happened, we got to change it again, because there's going to be no players returning. Not that I know of. I don't think any of them are going to return. I know some of them wanted to, because some of them, this was their best opportunity, but sadly things happen that are out of their control, and, you know, stuff like this just happens. With that, that's going to close out the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I talked a lot, and I know I kind of got into it more, but this is stuff that, you know, again, I'm a journalism major. I love talking about sports. I love writing about sports. So when something like this happens, you know, I'm always going to be able to talk about it and all that. I don't like that it happened, but at the same time, like, it betters my skills being able to talk about it to you guys exactly, and you guys can hopefully understand it more. I didn't get into every little detail, obviously. If you guys really want to, just search NMSU basketball or look up the lawsuit. You guys can find stuff, you know what I'm saying? You guys will find more information. And a lot of the stuff I don't want to say on YouTube because I don't want this video to get demonetized at all. And I probably said some things I shouldn't have said, you know, but I'm just saying, just speaking the truth and saying what happened. You know, I just hope NMSU can learn from this situation. I hope that the players, the victims, Deuce and Shaq and whoever else may have been in this incident can, you know, recover from this, because that's obviously really hard. We don't know exactly how they feel. And the players that were the suspects, you know, that, you know, caused this, you know, hopefully they can just learn from it. Everybody makes mistakes. Some of those mistakes are bigger than others, but hopefully they can just learn from them. That's one thing I want to close the video. I want to close out with a little inspiration. Not really inspiration, but that's something, you know, a lot of these guys, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, you know, I've been assaulted, so I know how they feel. But at the end of the day, that's not the truth, you know. Not everybody experiences things different, especially when you're a guy and a girl. They take things way differently, and you can say you know how they feel, but you don't, because like I said, everybody's different. You might have an idea of how they might feel like, but not exactly, because like I said, everybody's gonna experience things different. Some people are really emotional, some people aren't. Some people just don't care what happens to them. Some people really care. Everybody's different. So, you know, just when you're thinking about that, don't tell people you know how they feel, because you don't, to be honest. I mean, yeah, you might have an idea, but you don't know exactly how they feel. I know I'm getting a little deep, guys, but that's how I am. Again, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and you know, if you want to, please share it to your friends. And we're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers soon. I would love to do that. I'm trying to get this YouTube channel to grow. Obviously, if I can get paid from it, that'd be awesome. You know, college. I'm gonna be getting a job soon also, so that'd be nice. But it'd be nice to get this YouTube game going, and I just want to become a successful YouTuber with, you know, a lot of subscribers. So obviously I want to start with 1,000 and keep going from there, keep getting promoted and all that. This is the start of the journey. So if you're here right now, where I'm at like 446 subscribers or 447, something like that. I think I have 447 is what I'm at. One day we'll look back at this video and you guys will be the OGs. All right. Catch you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm out.